Hi, welcome to the Acne Sisterhood podcast. My name is Emily Maura. I'll be your host. This is season 1, episode 8. Yay! So, in case you didn't know, this is our last episode for this first season. I think I've said it ever since we were on episode 6, and that is because I cannot imagine that we've come this far. I didn't even imagine we'd get through a whole season because I normally do the entire production, the editing, everything is basically me, and so that's quite a lot of work. So getting through the entire season from beginning to end, and even being in a place where we are really improved on some of these things is quite a dream. I'm so proud of myself, and I'm so thankful that you are here, that you have continued to support me, that you have joined me on all the episodes or in some of the episodes which you managed to come across. Like, it means so much. Thank you. So, how are you? How have you been? As for me, I've been great, but I didn't release an episode last week, and that is because the episode that I had planned to release, I did a last minute change. I felt like that change was needed. I felt like I needed to talk about something else, which is what we are going to be talking about today, which is putting yourself out there. hmm If you have acne or if you have had acne, you know that putting yourself out there is not a joke. And that is because your skin represents you when you're out there. So if your skin is already struggling, if you're going through all these things with your skin, it feels easier or it's better for you to refrain from putting yourself out there because you do not want to feel judged. You're avoiding all these questions that come with you just dealing with acne. You're avoiding feeling like you do not fit in, like you are out of place. That whole discomfort that comes with being outside your shell, being outside your house, and it can be a lot. um, for me, I know that it was a lot because I dealt with acne for 8 years. I think I've mentioned that before. And in these 8 years, I really did a great job of not putting myself out there because I had already judged myself even before waiting for other people to judge me. I had already told myself that my skin is bad. I had already told myself that I am not worthy of doing some of these things, like content creation, which is crazy because that's exactly what I'm doing right now. I had told myself all these things, which are actually false narratives, but at the time, I did not realize how wrong I was. I did not realize how false that was, and that is because we do not have a platform. Before the Acne Sisterhood, we did not have a platform where we could just talk freely about acne and how it just affects you in so many other ways other than your skin. And so I really didn't put myself out there, and I'm just starting with this podcast. This podcast was my first step towards putting myself out there. And I can tell you that it is brutal. Things can go really wrong. You think that when you put yourself out there, everything is going to align to your favor because you've gone through all these hard things and you deserve a break. But that is far from the truth because as you will come to learn when you start putting yourself out there, you are starting as a beginner. You're not starting as an expert. So you can't expect to begin like an expert. You have to give yourself time, you have to give yourself the chance, you have to learn the lessons along the way so you can become an expert. Even the experts didn't start as experts, they also started as beginners, they made some mistakes along the way, but they were quick to recognize the mistakes and to see how they can fix them and how they can move forward. So oops, I recently put myself out there through the podcast. Like I had mentioned before, I was part of a competition. And in this competition, I met some really amazing people. I met some awesome people. We also had mentors. There were also judges who are people who are really big in the industry. And so on the final day, we were supposed to do what we call demo day. Like you demonstrate what your podcast is about in front of an actual audience and in front of the judges so that now they can choose who's gonna win what, who's gonna, you know, go where. But yeah, that day things went very south for me. And I'll talk about the lessons that I picked up from that about putting yourself out there. So, what happened is I got so much anxiety that I had not anticipated for. So, yeah, I anticipated a certain level of anxiety, but I did not think it was gonna be this much. I tried to sit. So the way they had set up the stage, they had put like two seaters, like one here, one there, and then they give you a mic, and then you go on about your podcast, blah blah blah. So when I got on the stage, I was unable to sit. Literally, like I wanted to sit down, but the level of anxiety I had just had me walking to and fro, back and forth, and that was a bit disorienting because they had put seats there. I mean, it's a podcast. You're supposed to sit and get comfortable so that now you can start talking. But yeah, that happened. And although I applaud myself for being confident enough to just speak through and just present what I was presenting, that same anxiety also brought about a confusion in my presentation. So there was a whole part that I left out, and that was like the most important part of what the podcast is about, what we intend on doing, how does it even help the society. So I started with this juicy story because I wanted to make sure like I was impressing the judges, I was impressing the audience. So I didn't start with how you begin, like, oh, my name is, and this is my podcast, I'm the founder, blah blah. No, I started with a story. But then now by the time I was getting to the middle of the story, and we had been given like 10 minutes. So already there was that time factor, like, oh my god, 10 minutes are gonna end and I'm not even finished my presentation. And so I left a huge part of what I was supposed to present because of how anxious I was. And that became a problem because people did not really understand what the podcast is about, how it's supposed to help, you know, the target audience, and all these other nitty gritties. And so it dawned on me that I had prepared for that day, but the level of anxiety I had anticipated was not what I got. Also, if you're gonna put yourself out there, you need to start preparing early. You cannot start doing your affirmations the morning before or that particular week. You cannot start exercising the day before or in the beginning of that week. These are things you have to incorporate in your daily routine so that by the time an opportunity is presenting itself, you are equipped, you are confident in yourself because you've been doing all these routines that are helping you in how you feel about yourself, how you believe in yourself, your confidence, and just releasing all this pressure and all this anxiety through exercising. And so it's very important to have that routine and to start now. Don't wait for the day you are called upon to do something. That's when you're starting your routine. That's when you're trying to see whether you can say some affirmations here and there. No. Start early. Start now. And that will go a really long way with the anxiety and with feeling familiar with being around people. You also have to start being around people early, whether it's your relatives, your co-workers, your neighbors. Just try and talk to new people every once in a while so that when you are presenting something, when you're called upon to present something, it's not the first time you're getting to interact with like a number of people. It's something you've been doing when you're still around your comfort zone, when you're still around your home, and that will really go a long way. Another thing is you will face setbacks, and it's okay to face setbacks. Just don't give up just because things have not gone exactly the way you thought they were gonna go. Don't feel like the world is against you and now you need to go back, you need to crawl back to your shell because clearly things are not going the way you thought they were gonna. So you need to anticipate setbacks and have a game plan. Know that if things don't go your way, this is what I'm gonna do about it. If things go well and good. If things don't go your way, how are you gonna handle that? Have a game plan for that. Another thing is you're gonna encounter some really good people who believe in you, who are for you. I know I met some amazing people who just walked up to me and encouraged me, and they saw the value in what I was doing, even though I wasn't able to present it as well as I should have. But there are really good people out there who are ready to support you, who are willing to support you if you put in the work. So learn to see the positives around whatever will happen, like whatever outcome. Know that there are people who are rooting for you. There are people who really want to see you win, and that's a really heartfelt, heartfelt thing. To just know that there are people who are rooting for you and they don't even know you. I mean, yeah, thank you. So another thing is I observed that there are people who are also not going to be for you for whatever reason. It might be because of how you look, it might be because of how you speak, or they just have their own issues and they're just like deflecting or whatever. But don't pay too much attention to that. Put your energy to the people who are for you, who are supporting you. Try to not really forget, because you can't forget someone who you can clearly see is maybe trying to sabotage you or is not happy for you. But let it be a non-issue. Let them do them and let you do you. Just concentrate on showing up as your best self. Concentrate on the places where you are getting that validation, the places where you are feeling appreciated. And know that these things will always be there. There'll always be somebody who doesn't like you, or somebody who is against you, or somebody who doesn't see your value. And it's not for you to start trying to prove them wrong, or to start, trying to communicate with them, to tell them, no, you're wrong. No, let it be, let it be. Just move on, stay away from that person or those people, and just try and do your thing. Something else is be authentic, be true to yourself. It's very easy to feel like you need to fit in. It's very easy to look around and compare yourself to other people and feel like, no, I need to do this because everyone else seems like they are doing this other thing and I have to do this and that. And so you put a lot of unnecessary pressure on yourself. But you could have just done you, could have just been simple and showed up as you, and that would have been more than enough. I know that happened in my presentation because I felt the need to make it so juicy. I felt the need to make it stand out, but I did not realize that making it stand out, making my presentation stand out means that I just be myself. I just do me. I just put the best effort. I put my best foot forward while still just being in my element. So avoid comparison. Avoid feeling like you need to impress all these people. And so you put all this pressure on yourself, which ultimately affects you negatively. Mhm. Another thing, something else is if things don't go your way, when you put yourself out there and things just don't go your way, they go the southest they can, be ready to just take a short break to go through those feelings, those emotions. Try not to act like it didn't happen, because I feel like that's what I did. I tried to get on with life like, oh, okay, let me just continue from where I left off. But in the real sense, I should have been working on my emotions. I should have been feeling, okay, I felt so bad about this. I felt so down. I should have been talking to somebody about how much that affected me, so I am able to slowly get through that whole experience, so that I'm able to feel those feelings, and at the end of the day, I I can appreciate what happened. I can do a post-mortem and see where I can improve, what I should have done, what maybe I shouldn't have done, what I'll do next time. That will go a very long way in making sure that the next time you get a chance or an opportunity to put yourself out there again, you won't repeat the same mistakes. You allowed yourself to feel what you felt, you went through what happened, and you tried to see how you can do better. Yeah. So I had said in I think it was on episode 6 that I was gonna update on how the competition went. So that's how it went. We didn't get to win, but I really did pick up on a lot of lessons. I did pick up on the feeling of what it is to really put yourself out there, on how to just prepare early. In fact, as you speak, I'm doing all these routines in my morning. I have put all these things in place because the next time I get an opportunity, I don't want to be caught off guard. I don't want to underestimate how that will work out for me, seeing as I'm still in my early stages of putting myself out there. So if you're also on this journey, I'd encourage you to follow the steps and the things that I've talked about. They're very important. And let me know how it goes. Also, if you feel like you're struggling with putting yourself out there, you can reach out at the Acne Sisterhood on TikTok, Instagram, here on YouTube. We are also on Amazon, Spotify. So yeah, we are basically everywhere. So you can just DM me and I'll be happy to help. So if you made it this far, thank you so much for hanging out with me, for kicking it with me. It was very interesting to get to talk about such an uncomfortable experience. Also, being uncomfortable is a muscle that you have to exercise. The more you get yourself out there, the more the discomfort starts to fade. So be okay in the discomfort. It's gonna get better the more you put yourself out there. Yeah. So thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. I hope that we can get to interact on our social media platforms. Also, now that we are heading on to season 2, let me know what your expectations are of what it's gonna be like. I've already started putting in plans of that, and it's a bit different from what we've done with season 1, because I feel like for season 1 we really wanted to concentrate on the message that acne is not just a physical condition, like it affects so many other different areas of your life. So season 2 is gonna be different, but it's gonna be good different, and I hope that you're gonna love it. So I can't wait to put out the dates when we resume. In the meantime, I wish you a very nice week. Because I don't know when we are gonna return. Maybe in 2 weeks, in a week or two. So we are just gonna take like a 2 week breather, 2 week break, and then we'll be back. So in the meantime, have a good time, have a great month, have a great rest of the month, and I hope to see you next time. Bye. Mwah.